So we're ready to do the newspapers, and of course, Mama V is here. And Mama V, good morning to you. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, Roland. Way better. I thank God for my life. Yeah, how are you?
Chalade.
Great.
And then we also have Kojo streaming into the studio as always. Kojo, Mama VZ is around.
Bad boys.
I miss you so much, VZ.
Bad boys, you have it.
Oh, it's good to see you, though.
Yeah,
I was so sad when I heard you were not well.
Yeah, but I'm better now. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's jump straight into the newspapers, I guess.
You have a cold?
Yeah, let's do that.
No, I didn't want
to be mischievous.
Okay. Just that we just played some tips, so I was wondering.
I didn't want to bring my cold here. That's you're coughing. Now you're coughing. You should stay away from here. No coughing. So I'll do the Daily Graphic, the Ghanaian Times. I don't know what you have, Roland.
Well, I have the Crusading Guide, and Kojo is the one on the scale.
Well,
so he'll make a choice of which
stories.
stories.
Me out. I want one too. Let me have the Daily Graphic.
Okay.
No, you can have the Times.
Times for you.
Yeah, you can have the Times.
For you.
So let's start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Here we go. It's what's on the front page. President optimistic about robust health system after COVID-19. Jealous girlfriend sets wood market ablaze. It's also another story on page 11. Ghana's judge in Cote d'Ivoire border dispute dies. Dr. Thomas A. Mensah. There's a picture of him on the front page of the paper, which you would see very shortly. But the banner headline, COVID-19 continues to bite. Easter activities on ice. So there's a flashback, a picture there. What we will be missing, essentially what we are missing. Such scenes during the Easter festivities. So a scene like what's on the front page of the Daily Graphic, we're not seeing this year, obviously because of the situation we find ourselves in. On the back page of the paper, Kumasi Central Market reopens today. Ahomka Foundation supports Setre, Kumewu district with medical equipment. And if you check out what's in the center spread of the paper, government seeks approval to spend $219 million dollars fund would cushion vulnerable against COVID-19 impacts. And then include us in COVID-19 stimulus package, media groups demand. And details of that, I guess, when we get into, reviewing a lot more details, we'll bring that to you. But for now, that's what's in the center spread by way of headlines, the back page and the front page of the Daily Graphic. Roland?
All right. Kojo, you ready with the Times?
Yeah, let's do the Times. I've got the banner headline, which is, let's all join COVID-19 fight. Clergy urges public. Also on the front page, COVID-19 cases hit 313. Records one more death. And obviously the details of those are on the Ghana Health Service website. ADB donates 200,000 Ghana cedis to COVID-19 Trust, also on the front page this morning. And right there in the top right corner, Ghanaian Times takes a break. Now, I believe this is all in furtherance of Easter. And so they wish everybody a happy Easter. The Ghanaian Times is one of the few newspapers that have stayed publishing through this COVID-19 period. But I suppose they are taking a break now for the religious holiday. Back page of the Ghanaian Times, Togo renews collaboration with Ghana to fight against COVID-19. And fisherfolk at Tema Canoe Basin clean up beach. That's it from me.
Right. So let's do the last one we have. It's been our states over the last week or two.
Yeah.
On the lockdown. So we're locking down the new Crusading Guide. This is our last paper. So we have the last one. COVID-19, Ghana hits 313 cases. And then we have announced stimulus package for frontline media practitioners, Primpack, like us. So myself, Mama View Sobwaje.
Who is the appeal going to?
Government. You know the finance minister was in parliament for 1.2 billion. So
good luck to you.
Want to be factored in. There's some contingency funding.
We hear you.
So Mama B doesn't sound like she agrees.
She doesn't sound like it will be successful. Not that she doesn't sound like
I don't agree, actually.
Oh, okay.
On principle.
On principle. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we have.
Should we talk about that now?
Yeah, we can.
After he's done with the review.
Yeah. So then I have this one. Kaswa market crammed, and I'm surprised this will be the situation, but that is the situation we're reporting. In defiance of social distancing protocols, and our story is down there. You find also on the front page. Meanwhile. For a youth campaign, the National Youth Authority is donating essential items to the Health Ministry as part of the effort everybody is doing to make sure that they show up for complement efforts of government. And could you, that'll be it. But the,
all right, what?
The appeal. We need some stimulus package.
You do?
Okay. Well, I don't think it's going to be bad because there are a lot of media houses, in my estimation, even before coronavirus arrived, that had been closing down around the world, and Ghana was not an exception. Now this is going to hit them hard. Yeah.
So is this because of corona or because of challenges before corona? Be clear, Roland. Because you said media houses were closing down
because
even before.
of challenges as a result of the pandemic.
Okay, so that's the justification.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. I mean, that's your opinion. I mean, I just disagree because.
Okay.
Yeah.
You disagree because?
We're not working for government.
Well, if you ask me, we play a critical role in what we do. But I also do know that media establishments like the Multimedia Group, it could be any other you find, whether it's Media General, etc., because of the capitalization of the industry, may have made projections for the year. Ultimately, these projections would have been eroded. They will affect the bottom line. So this is not journalism. This is the business. Are you making a case for the business, or you're making a case for journalists? Because it cannot go to just the journalists. If you take us, for example, we have cameramen who make sure that what we're seeing are successful. For example, Kojo has been set up so well. So there's a technician who is involved, somebody with an IT expertise. We have sound engineers around. We have directors and all that. So the stimulus package needs to go to the entities. Let's say if the Multimedia Group can have like $10 million as part of the stimulus package.
Kojo, what do you say?
Well, first of all, I agree with Mama B. I don't think the media should get a stimulus package, and I certainly hope I don't get a letter from the GJA for this. But for a different reason, not for the same reason that Mama B has. So yes, it's true that we don't work for government. Some media men do work for government, but also government is providing stimulus for healthcare workers in the private sector. So I don't think that just the fact that we don't work for government would disqualify us. For me, the reason why I don't want a stimulus package from government is because of what I talked about in the message of motivation today, about lakes into which all things flow but nothing comes out. You know, the media has a tough job. We do it every day under normal circumstances. But under extraordinary circumstances, that is when we are called upon to be extraordinary. That's when we are called upon to do even more. Now, look at it this way. Bus drivers, the Ayalolo drivers who are taking people to, a hospital, the trotro drivers. If you enter a bus or a trotro and you cough, are you not putting them at risk? So should they also be added to the frontline workers? Because they are out there, they are working. If they don't work, we can't get to and from anywhere. So there are so many people providing essential services. But does it mean that we should provide stimulus for all of them? And can this nation afford it? Look, already, if we know what it is costing us to keep the taps flowing, to keep the lights on, to provide incentives for the frontline workers, all 100 and something thousand healthcare workers, all of the incentives that have been already discussed, if we knew how much they were costing, And if we know how much our economy is losing every day because we are all forced to stay at home, I don't think we would be calling for government to add on to their burden by providing stimulus for journalists. We already do a dangerous job. We do it even in normal times. And in abnormal times, we are called to keep up that standard and keep the nation informed. If we fail, we are letting down the nation. We can't ask for extra cash before we do a good job. Okay. That is my opinion.
Yeah, so I'll cap it simply as this. The World Bank, from midday today up to midnight around the world, is going to have a briefing on the state of the global economy. Africa, particularly the sub-Saharan African region, is expected to be in recession. And the recession is going to be 2.5% in the negative, okay? Ghana was expected to grow at a certain percentage. We've downgraded that to some 2.5% just over the last 2 weeks. That also speaks to the related issues about how businesses will be suffering.
So here's what I'll say.
If you think of us as a business, then I think that we need a stimulus package.
I think make a case as a business, but stop talking about journalists.
But
get what
essentially,
I think
the core business that the media agencies do is media.
Yeah, but does it matter because we're talking about businesses going down because of the times that we're in? So make a case as a business.
So if government is giving a stimulus to the pharmaceutical industry or any other small scale industry, then they should give stimulus packages to media entities which operates with journalists.
Go with the business sense. Make a good case.
I agree with Mama. Yeah,
make a case as a business.
Make it for businesses.
Yeah. Stop just saying because you're a journalist.
We are called to this job.
By the way,
then we can stay at home.
Yeah. Kojo, we should have some tea after this. Okay, let's on page 11 in the Daily Graphic newspaper. There's a rather bizarre story of a jealous girlfriend who felt the boyfriend had left her and 2 other women he had impregnated allegedly and was hanging out with another woman. So she decided to put his house on fire. And it stretched beyond that. This happened in Agbogboshi. It's a Zabrama Wood Market at Agbogboshi. It went beyond. Yes. So the story is captured here on page 11 in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Rather very sad there. The story says last Tuesday, the angry woman allegedly mobilized the 2 other women and approached the man, resulting in the confrontation, during which one of the women set the room on fire. Properties worth thousands of Ghana cedis were destroyed during the fire, which started at about 1:50 a.m. and lasted for about 3 hours before the Ghana National Fire Service could douse it. Yeah.
So a lot of people live in that market.
Very
yeah.
And now that we're trying to isolate people, they have nowhere to live.
Yeah.
Or because of some jealous girlfriend and her squad. This is crazy.
Well, that's bizarre.
If it's true, I hope the arrests have been effective.
No, so they haven't. According to the story, she has not been arrested yet. I guess it's still under investigation.
But today, by tomorrow, the holiday for the Easter season would have started.
Oh, Charlie, there's nothing like that this year. Yeah.
So we have a formal announcement by the Minister for the Interior. It says that the holiday is starting tomorrow and ending on Monday.
When I saw that release, I was like...
Monday is a holiday too, right?
Yeah. Under lockdown. Oh, no. The lockdown will end on Sunday.
Yeah. I suspect that we'll hear from the president before the weekend.
Definitely.
I'm thinking by tomorrow. I don't know what you guys think.
Extension?
Definitely.
It has to be. It has to be. We're mingling too many times for us to be comfortable.
Can I ask something?
Go ahead.
You know the story you did on the news about the first case in the central region? There was a detail that bothered me. So when the health official was explaining how it all happened, she said that this person has given some contacts and they've started tracing them, and so far they found 13. Now, out of these 13, some of them are going to be quarantined at home, or in this case, yes, in this case it's quarantine, not isolation, because they don't know whether they have the disease yet. And then some of them will be kept in a school, an abandoned school, because they live with large families in close proximity, so they cannot be asked to self-quarantine at home. But first of all, why are we not testing them? According to Kojo Oponkruma, the new strategy is that all contacts will not just be traced and then left until they get symptoms. They will be tested. So why are we just self-quarantining these people in the central region? And why are we taking some of them out of their densely populated families to go and isolate them somewhere else, and not thinking about the families that they were with and the contact that they have had with those families so far? I think, why is that not part of our thinking?
I think that's a great question there, but I'm not sure that what the regional health authorities in the central region will be doing in Cape Coast ultimately will be different from what the national rules or the guidelines are. I'm sure they will follow that, but because this is just a developing story. Yes, of course. And I think we just have to get back to Richard Kojonyako to get the details, because guidelines are guidelines and rules are rules. So I'm sure they'll follow through all the protocols. Are you familiar with the man? Because
no, I don't know who it is. They didn't mention his name, so I don't know who they're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, I guess we have some time to do myjoyonline.com, unless you two have something to say.
You look nice. That's what I have to say.
Oh, thank you, Kojo. Thank you.
And I enjoyed your cooking.
Why,
no comment. No comment.
I thought it was supposed
Let's
to be
do myjoyonline.com.
You went to her house?
A lot happens on Zoom.
Watching her cook.
Virtually.
Kojo, let's do myjoyonline.
All right. So the bank hospital in Mahama is Mahama's legacy, according to Arthur Forson, and he's countering Kweku Bako there. Why does it matter? Oh. Yo. Right, what else is on myjoyonline.com this morning?
Don't panic over increasing COVID-19 cases. The Ghana Health Service is urging Ghanaians. Also, farmers, CSOs warn about imminent food security challenges after COVID-19 crisis. Finance Minister gets approval for 1.2 billion Ghana cedis to fund coronavirus alleviation program. Central Region records first COVID-19 case as national tally rises to 313. You can continue, Kojo.
Yeah, okay. So water production capacity inadequate, according to experts. They are warning government as they pledge to free supply amid lockdown. Graduates invent motion-activated sink to aid coronavirus fight. It's lovely how many inventions are popping up as a result of this crisis. Mass movement of foreigners into Ashanti region banned to prevent escalation of coronavirus spread. I thought it was locked down anyway. Nobody should be able to enter Ashanti region. JoyNews reporter shares experience after exclusive access to a coronavirus holding center. Fascinating story there by Latif Idris.
Roland, let's do the BBC as well.
Well, so we have to go through the main stories on BBC World. So we have Australian police seize cruise ship. It's Black Boss investigating why a cruise ship allowed ill passengers to disembark in downtown Sydney. Meanwhile, Uganda is banning outdoor exercises over coronavirus, and France is doing that as at this morning, because you know when you have a puff, it's a danger, clear and present danger to all those around you. But I've seen many.
You know that's banned in Ghana too.
Oh, but people are exercising, Kojo.
It shocks me.
Yeah.
It seems we are really not interested in implementing these measures.
But if you exercise and you do social distancing, because I've seen people in New York also doing their morning runs but trying to keep their distance. I guess it's how you do it.
I think the point is that you shouldn't put yourself in a situation where you can't control other people's behavior. And when you're out jogging, can you really vouch for the next person that they are not crazy and they're not going to jump up and grab you and cock you?
So the thing is, don't do it in a group. I mean, I could do my early morning jogging in my neighborhood, for instance. I won't meet anybody.
Yeah, but your neighborhood is different.
Because you live in Trasaco, like neighborhood. So we are not worried about that.
I'm wondering how somebody in Newtown or Sukura.
No, listen, you can do it. I mean, you don't necessarily even have to get out of your house. You can use your small compound and do whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. All right. Okay. So we have to go for a break. I had this one, if I can. This one is not Sally for combat, so this one is a new one. Bismarck at Accra, and he says, I would like to use this opportunity to thank God for the life of my dear Isabella. May God continue to bless and continue to strengthen her. Today marks a Holy Thursday. Settle. There's no Holy Thursday, Masa.
Oh, but it is. I mean, it's in his heart. Yeah.
Okay, it's holy.
And
every day is holy.
And it says, make today being a holy Thursday, settle any misunderstanding between us and continue to be together and live happily. Apparently, Bismarck.
Bismarck, if you have
Thursday relationship,
if there are things you have to do, sort yourself out and don't use any holy thing to.
Okay, so
let's do the BBC
so
Africa.
Isabella is at Asutari in the Bismarck and Isabella, please come together.
All
Bismarck
right,
is dying.
Let's do the Africa page of the BBC. That story, that Uganda bans outdoor exercises over coronavirus. Details there. There's another story about the auditoriums of Nigeria's mega churches being empty and their gates are shut as they are forced to observe a government ban on large gatherings to halt the spread of coronavirus. That's a very difficult time for churches around this time. This is Easter. African leaders back WHO head against Trump attacks. We know his roots from Ethiopia, and yesterday Trump threatening to hold funding to the World Health Organization, saying that they've been more towards China than other countries. I mean, like, seriously. So yesterday the WHO actually outlined what they've done since the outbreak of the coronavirus from the very beginning, and it's been 100 days. So they did point by point what they've done.
But I think that Donald Trump's views about Dr. Tedros is not different from what the Europeans and the larger sections of America seem to think. They seem to heap the blame on the World Health Organization for not calling,
so the World Health Organization should have
China
asked countries to shut their borders. Is that what we are saying?
Very surprising.
I mean,
very surprising.
We're independent countries, everybody. So just like we did in Ghana, it was like we say, homegrown. We decided what we wanted to do. We decided that we have our own peculiar issues. I mean, when Mr. Trump decided to shut his borders, remember he opened to the UK. He said, I'm closing to everybody else, but I'm opening to the UK. Was it the WHO that gave that advice, for instance?
He want people to cut funding to America because of that. Now, it's interesting. The WHO did make a couple of mistakes. First of all, it took them far too long to label it a pandemic.
Exactly.
Well, because it needed to cross a certain threshold, because we've been in that place before. So you couldn't just wake up and say...
The argument is that it crossed that threshold a long time before they called it so. It had gone into several countries, I think 50, 55 countries by the time they called it a pandemic. So some argue that, it didn't have to take 55 countries first. But, I guess that's a debate. But the other thing that I think they could have done better is the issue of masks. The WHO were quite categorical that masks do not save you from COVID-19. And they even discouraged it because it might create a false sense of security, which could actually be
They still don't have a clear position on that, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They are reluctant to say that we should wear masks. And I think they are right. Look, it's too. We don't have time. Otherwise, if Echo could have brought up the video we played during the news of Keno Furiata speaking to the Finance Committee of Parliament, I want you to see how he's wearing his mask. He's covered his mouth and left his nose.
Well, we do know that.
And he keeps.
Yeah.
Exactly, and he keeps touching his face to adjust it. Every time the mask falls, he touches his face to. There you go. That's him. In a moment, you say, look at that.
And that's not the best way to wear the mask at all.
Safe?
No.
After he has touched the table in front of him, then he touches his face.
Yeah.
And most people who wear masks will end up doing that. This is why the WHO doesn't want to rush ahead of itself to say everybody wear masks, because it might actually make things worse. Look at that. Look at that.
No, but we have to also say that while we do know what the WHO and its position is, we have top medical journals making publications from top medical people who are saying that the mask definitely will not protect you. I read a story in the Daily Mail, I think yesterday evening, and the UK health authorities working within the NHS were very categorical on that. And I think that we need also to follow through with the protocols as they are. There's a story also on that same BBC page about a South African communication minister who has been suspended for a month or so or two without salary by Cyril Ramaphosa for apparently going to a friend's house, dining and showing the two of them dining over dinner, you know, and showing it on on their social media. So it's a question about, you know, authorities or those in public office following through whatever rules of engagement that have been put in place by their own government within this period.
Yeah, Roland and Kojo, there was also a story, I think early this week or over the weekend, about the Scottish medical officer, the one who gives the rules that even appeared in the video, telling people what not to do, who actually traveled with her family against her own advice to a family home twice. She ended up resigning. Initially, she didn't want to, but, you know, there was a lot of voices against that, because it's like you're not practicing what you're preaching. So are they just given the advice? It's easy to tell people social distance. Yeah. Or don't touch your face.
Mama B, it's not easy. It's not easy, especially not touching your face. Look, in this conversation with you, if I tell you that I've touched my face about 20 times, will you believe me?
Of course I will.
It's
a difficult thing to do,
I mean, luckily I'm at home, I'm on lockdown, and so, you know, I'm not getting in contact with surfaces that are not being cleaned every few hours. But it is subconscious. I don't think about it. So people out there who are working in markets, who are driving buses, who are, you know, you guys in the studio.
Yeah.
If you are not conscious of it, you might be infecting yourselves without, you know, thinking. It's a scary thought.
Yeah.
For us, right, in the studio.
Just before we run on the issue of the issue of the mask, I saw a video. Initially, I thought it wasn't real, but the personalities in that video, and this is the Czech Republic, where they're encouraging all citizens of their country to wear the mask. So you find ministers, very important people in the country, explaining why the mask is useful. So that country is going with the mask idea. Yeah.
If everybody wears it and if we follow the protocol, it will be helpful.
The slogan
is, can we?
Slogan is, you protect you, I protect. So I protect, you know, you protect me, I protect you. Yeah. Okay, guys, this is where we have to wrap up the review.
Yeah, definitely. We have to go for a break. When we come back, we'll have some conversations. We told you, Kojo, that discussion is on the finance minister going before Parliament to get that 1.2 billion package approved, and then the concerns of the minority about, you know, the line items really and all that. So we'll take a look at all of these when we come back.
Yeah, in the meantime, log on to myjoyonline.com and enjoy a lot more news. Stay with us.